If you're using your JK Wrangler to its fullest extent, or even if you've just got a lot of miles on the clock, you may be in need of some new axles or wheel bearings. This is a full set of front CV axle shafts and hubs that are bolt-on replacements for your stock units, and the whole kit will cost you less than what you pay from your Jeep dealer. On anything four-wheel drive, the front axles, the CV joints, and the wheel bearings can take a beating. Those components are doing a lot of work, especially if you're engaging four-wheel drive a lot. If you've got a lift on there, or if you're just using a Jeep like a Jeep is meant to be used. And if your CV joints start to bind or your wheel bearings start to grind, you're gonna have a hard time getting your rig moving or just getting power to the ground. Not to mention the horrible noises that these things make when they go bad. And what we've got here is a fully matched set of new factory-style drive axles with new U-joints and a matching pair of hubs with wheel bearings pressed in and ready to go. These are made to be exact replacements for your factory parts, meaning they're going to bolt right in with no modifications needed. And on the wheel hub side, you've even got new wheel speed sensors and lug bolts, so they come ready to mount up right out of the box to get you rolling again smoothly and safely without any fuss. As you might expect, these are built to mimic the stuff that came on your Jeep from the factory. Made of the same type of materials as your factory components, you're going to find hardened steel axles with the correct amount of splines for your specific application. They come with new U-joints already set and ready to go, and the U-joints do have Zerk fittings on there so they are greasable. The hubs also come pre-assembled with new lug studs already pressed in. You've got pre-packed wheel bearings and new seals, plus those new speed sensors as well. These are all manufactured in an ISO 9002 certified facility as well, meaning that they have been tested for impact, wear, and fatigue to ensure that they adhere to strict quality control standards, just like your original parts. Pricing for this will run you about $700, making this kit a really affordable option considering everything you get. And it's going to save you quite a bit of money versus the equivalent parts from Mopar, because just one of these axles is going to cost you more than this entire kit if you get it direct from your dealer. And you're not going to have the wheel bearings, the hubs, or the sensors included, so that makes this a really good deal. Installation will get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 3 hours to complete. Like I mentioned, these are supposed to be bolt-in replacements that don't require any modifications to the Jeep itself, though there is a bit of disassembly required to access stuff. However, this is definitely a job you can tackle at home given the right tools and enough time. So enough of me talking about it, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the process step by step.
Tools required for this install include a couple different size impact guns, a hammer, caliper hook, a ratchet, an extension, a 13mm 12-point socket, 21mm swivel socket, and a 36mm axle socket.
What's up guys? Today we're installing CV axles and wheel hub assemblies on our Wrangler, so let's get started.
So the first thing we need to do is remove our caliper. We've got two 21mm bolts here. I'm going to use a 21mm swivel socket to pull these out. I've got a caliper hook up on our spring so we can hang this once we pull it off. Now I'm going to throw a long extension on there so I can come from behind the shock, get a good angle on that. And then just slide your caliper off and hang it up on your hook. Now with our caliper out of the way, we can pull our brake rotor off. Now if you're stuck on the hub, you can take a rubber mallet right behind where the caliper was. There's a cutout in your dust shield. You can hit on the back of the rotor. You can spin it around a few times to hit it from different angles. So now we need to disconnect our ABS wires. We've got a grommet in this clip. We're just gonna pop that out. We're just gonna follow the wire all the way up to the top behind the shock where we have our connector and disconnect that. Now follow that over to the other side. Keep popping those grommets out. We've got a bunch of them on our brake line. Slide our caliper out of the way and get this one. And then you're gonna need to grab a clip remover tool. We've got 2 clips on this brake line bracket right down here, right under the spring. Now our other one's broken, but you do have another one back there. And then we'll just keep going. We've got another grommet behind the shock. One up here. And then you're gonna have 2 clips here. Ours have broken off, so ours isn't connected there, but use your clip remover tool. And then just press back. There's a red locking tab back here. If you can see that through that hole, you're gonna press back on that. Press in on the black tab, pop that free. And then I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Gonna go underneath of our upper ball joint. And we'll just let that hang off to the side for now.
Next, we're gonna take a 36mm axle socket and remove our axle nut. And then we're just gonna put it on a few turns just so that when we're pulling the hub out, it doesn't fall off. Next, we need to remove these 3 bolts holding in our hub. So I've got a 13mm 12-point socket here. Now you can rotate the axle around to get the gap in between your joint here to be able to fit your ratchet in a little better. And now on the other side, we have our last 2 bolts. Rotate my axle a little bit, give myself some more room. Now I can get on there much straighter. Now I'm going to rotate the axle again, get better access to that top one. Now we're ready to remove our hub assembly. I've got a hammer here. I'm just going to give some taps to the back of the hub to try to work this free. You can also use one of those 3-jaw pullers. Put the center right on your axle, hook your 3 sides around the hub, and then start tightening it down. It'll push against the axle and pull this out. And now we can fully remove our axle nut. Push our axle out of the hub. Remove our hub and our dust chute. So now we just need to pull our axle out. So I'm just gonna grab onto the end here and just give it a good tug. And then we slide our axle all the way out. So now we're ready to install our new axle. So I'm gonna slide this into the tube, push it all the way in until it bottoms out. And then we're gonna turn it until we can feel the splines engage, and then we'll give it one good shove to pop it into place. And there I can feel those splines engaged. Just give it a good shove, pop it into place. Now we can install our new hub. We're gonna get our dust shield on there first. I'm gonna throw the bolts through the backside just to hold this dust shield in place. Now slide that dust shield on. And then we can install our hub. Make sure your ABS sensor is lining up with that slot. We're gonna have to pass this through that dust shield first. Line up the splines in your axle. And then start threading in your bolts. Now we're going to take our 13mm 12-point socket, tighten down our bolts. Once again, you can rotate the axle to get more space for your tool. Now before we fully tighten that down, we're going to go to the other side, tighten that bolt, and then we'll come back and tighten both of those down. So now on the other side, we're going to tighten this bolt down. And we're going to snug up our other 2. And the axle again, help myself out. Now we're going to thread on that new axle nut included with our kit. And then we're going to grab that same 36mm axle socket and tighten that down. Now we need to run and reconnect our ABS sensor. Now this wire is a little shorter than our factory one, so we're going to have to run it a little bit differently. So we're going to go underneath that upper ball joint. And then we're going to clip this grommet into place, and then we'll hop over onto the other side, clip our grommet in, and run it up our brake line. Now we'll pop our grommet into the clip on the other side there. I'm going to run this behind our caliper. I'm going to run it up and plug it in. And once you get that in place, re-engage those two push clips, popping them in, and then we're going to take this clamp and just run it around our brake line. Now we can reinstall our rotor onto our new hub. And I'm going to throw a lug nut on there to hold it into place while we throw our caliper on. Now we're going to pop our caliper off our caliper hook. And then slide your caliper over your rotor. And then you can thread in your two bolts. Now grab your 21mm swivel socket and tighten these down. And now once you have everything reassembled, make sure to go back and torque everything down to your manufacturer's specification. So that'll wrap up this review and install of the front CV axles with wheel hub assemblies for your 2007 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JK, excluding Rubicon. Thank you for watching, and for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.